In this mosaic training video, I'm going to go through a few simple steps to shape the front face of a wall cabinet if you have a angled soffit in a room. Now you will need to have the Graphics V12 library downloaded. Let's select the Graphics V12. If you come down here to the Fixtures tab, under Room Fixtures, you have Dormer Left, Dormer Right. I'm going to select the dormer right, and then I'm going to set the width of this to 120 inches. There's my dormer placed in the room. I do want the height of this dormer to be 12 inches tall, and I'm going to set the elevation at 84. Let's go to the 3D viewer and look at this. You can see there's my angled dormer, and I do want my cabinets to angle with this. If you're not seeing the angle in your elevation view over here on the right, select your Layers button, select the Appliance layer. In Appliance Drawings, you need to make sure that is checked. You can always save that back to your template for future use, but that way you can see the angle of that soffit in the elevation view. Now once your dormer is in place, the top line of the dormer, which is the width of the actual wall, is 120 inches. This would be the run of this particular triangle. This would be the rise. The rise is a height of 12 inches. So let's go into the face frame 1/2 inch overlay, and I'm going to bring in a wall pair of doors and drop it on the plan. I'm going to change my height to 41 inches and then my elevation to 54. That way I have a 1 inch gap between the top of my cabinet and that actual dormer. We do need to shape this cabinet. Let's double click on it. First thing we want to do though is go to the Parameters tab, and we're going to add a couple user parameters. I'm going to set one up called X, and I'm going to call this the run, and I'm going to give it a value of 120 inches so it matches the run or the length of my wall. The next parameter I'm going to set up as a user parameter would be for the rise, and this value will equal 12 inches. Go to the Shape tab, select the Front Shape tab, and then select Edit Front. This will enable the front shaping of the cabinet. We want to shape this point, which is the upper right corner of this cabinet, and we want to do it in the Y value, which is your vertical value over here. Over here on the right, you do have the Formula Editing tab for the Y value. Select that. And let's write a formula. When I'm going to write a formula, I'm going to do the height of the cabinet minus a parentheses. Then I'm going to take my rise divided by my run times the width of the cabinet. Let's select down here. You can see that formula is good at 38.6 inches. Let's select OK and select OK again. You can see how this shaped that particular cabinet. And go OK. Now when you look at this, look at that. It's a perfect gap on that rise and run for that dormer. Let's go ahead and make a copy of this cabinet, and I'm going to paste it 4 times because I obviously do want some additional cabinets in here. And then I'm going to select every one of them once I've pasted them and equalize the widths. You can see how it's still adjusted automatically. Let's double click on the first cabinet, go back to your Shape tab. The height of this end is 38 inches. So if I look at this cabinet and I change the height to 38, readjust my elevation to 54, it automatically shapes that. So if you repeat that process, and let's double click on the second cabinet, Shape tab, this end right here is 35 inches. So I'm going to make the height of the next one 35 inches. Of course, you need to adjust your elevation when you do that. And you can see how it's following that dormer. Let's do it one more time. Shape tab, 32 inches on the right side. This would be 32 inches in height on this last cabinet, 54 inches for the elevation. The elevation view follows my dormer or my angled soffit. And if you look at this from a 3D perspective, your customer's going to love it. Just add a little trim there and you're trimming out an angled soffit very easily with the front shaping in Mosaic.